Well. well. I bet you didn't expect to see me again. I'm not going to lie. I didn't expect to see you again. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sportsnet's YouTube channel. Steve Dangle here with Watch a Habs Game with Steve Dangle, which, by the way, producer Drew does the graphics for us, and he screwed up. For 7 games, we didn't even realize in the first round, he had the graphics say, watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle. And I'm like, these are clearly Habs games, Drew. So for some reason, it took us a round plus a game to figure out a new graphic. But we eventually got it. He clicked save, sent it to the right people, and now we have it. So welcome to Game 8 I can't believe it, man. Watch a Habs game with Steve Dangle. Big game. They're all big games. For crying out loud, it's the Final Four. Montreal, obviously falling to Vegas in Game 1. This is Game 2, also in Vegas. Montreal, though, I thought much closer than the score indicated. I believe Vegas outshot them by 1 shot, but Montreal outshot them in 2 of the 3 periods. Vegas just had a very, very good second. Montreal, very strong start. Romanov, who's not in this game, laid a big hit on Pietrangelo. Price was huge. So good in Game 1. Martinez with the fake, though. Vegas, they're a really good team, but it's unbelievable. Montreal avoids John Tavares in the first round. Second round, they avoid Mark Scheifele for most of it. And tonight, Chandler Stevenson, who has been playing first-line center for the Vegas Golden Knights, will not play. The lineup is bizarre. I've been trying to follow it as we prep for this. Petrie officially tweeted on the Montreal Twitter account, not in until like 2 minutes ago. Elliot Friedman reports that he is. And I'm sure you saw the picture on Twitter, the bloodshot eyes. I don't know what that is. Burst blood vessels, something. It looks gruesome, but it's one of those, it's the playoffs things. He's going to play. Listen, let's not waste any time. I'll get to your questions, but I want to talk about the first goal. First goal is extremely important in this game and in any game, obviously. So I want to talk about Sports Interaction, providing competitive odds on all sports. Sports Interaction is Canada's odds maker. Remember, you got to be 19 plus, obviously, and you got to play responsibly, obviously. So Vegas, obviously the favored team to score first. After all, they did last time. Montreal, the underdog. Here's why I love the underdog pick there. I naturally cheer for underdogs on account of the team that you know I cheer for always loses. But you might remember from that first round series, the Habs scored first in 5 of those 7 games. I believe they've scored first in more games than they haven't in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So even if you don't think they're going to win, even if you don't think they're going to beat Vegas, I'd bet good money that they're going to score first. Who knows? Hey, this is just my opinion. You never know. Montreal could get scored on 30 seconds in. Vegas gets the first goal. All I know, that's what I'm putting on for Sports Interaction. Trust me. Or don't. Maybe you'll see my picks on Sports Interaction and you'll be like, Steve's dumb. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to do the opposite. Could be a good business model. I don't know. We're going to get the puck drop soon times. Oh, we have a couple of guests coming on. Julian McKenzie, big fan. I'm a big fan of his. Covers the Montreal Canadiens for The Athletic. He'll be on with us first period. Second period, one Chris Johnston of Sportsnet fame, CJ, will be joining us for a chunk. And third period, you're stuck with me. And that also goes for overtimes 1, 2, 3, and 4. Am I right, everyone? Am I right? Yeah. Did you notice that? Father's Day mug? Carey Price, 8-4 in these playoffs, 9-2-9. That is silly and stupid. Until you look at Marc-Andre Fleury's 9-2-7, 9-4. 2 good goalies. I guess you could say. Puck drop, game 2, Vegas, Habs, let's go. Building's rocking. Remember, so this is just like the first round. I cannot hear the broadcast, but I prefer it this way because there's a lot going on. Pete DeBoer. I was listening to 31 Thoughts today. If Vegas wins this series and the 3 wins away, this will be DeBoer's 3rd trip to the Stanley Cup Final since the beginning of 2012 with 3 different teams. The Devils in 2012, the Sharks in 2016. You'll notice no winners there. But it's hard to win the Stanley Cup. It's also pretty gosh darn hard to even make it to the Stanley Cup Final. William Karlsson. I know we're, Chandler Stevenson's really important, but William Karlsson's been lights out these playoffs. There's Jeff Petrie. I assume the broadcast is going to show what we all saw on Twitter. Yeah, turn around there, Jeff. Yeah, you couldn't quite see it from that angle, but he literally looks like, for lack of a better term, one of the sprinters from 28 Days Later. But there he is. Wild. Anderson looking for the winger win, and he gets it! There's Petrie. Him getting the first goal would be a little too perfect. It'd be a great story in general, plus I'd be vindicated for saying that on Sports Interaction, Habs would score first. Ooh. Mark Stone has been an animal these playoffs. Sometimes in his celebrations, I think he actually does look like Animal from the Muppets. Max Pacioretty, I mean, you guys already saw Game 1, so you heard this story already. But I haven't had a chance to talk about it, so it doesn't count. Max Pacioretty obviously dealt to the Vegas Golden Knights from the Habs. Nick Suzuki, one of the returning pieces, which, that's unbelievable to me. Because, it's one thing if you trade the first round pick, and Montreal does a good job and selects Nick Suzuki. Good for them. Vegas, on purpose, picked Nick Suzuki 13th overall and dealt him. They weren't trading magic beans when they got rid of him. They knew exactly who they were getting rid of. And I know Pacioretty's been really good for them. You thought you were getting a souvenir? Pacioretty's been really good for them, but boy, Nick Suzuki. That's a good player, man. But, people criticize, Vegas acquiring Tatar and then obviously trading him to Montreal. Here's a chance! Oh, what a stop by Price. People criticize Vegas. But they've been to the Final Four in 3 of their 4 years of existence. And the 1 year they didn't, you could argue they got jobbed. That was that Cody Eakin call. The 5-minute major leading to the blown lead. Vegas' 4th line hemmed in here. God, their defense are so big and bruising. We didn't see that in the first round. Not from the blue team, anyway. Not the greatest shot. Patrick Brown, by the way, drawing into the lineup for Vegas. Ooh, here we go. Vegas loves their point bombs. You gotta watch those. That's an adjustment you would think the Habs would make for this game. Vegas generating a lot of chances and offense from the point. Oh! By the way, the fans, they're cool and everything. They definitely add to the energy of the game. There's Petrie. They add to the energy of the game and everything. But the idea that Vegas would have this unbelievable advantage because Montreal, who hasn't played in front of huge crowds in well over a year, the idea that Montreal would be like, whoa, and they would have no idea what to do was a little silly. They've played in front of crowds before. Even the young guys, like Cole Caulfield, was probably playing in front of bigger crowds in college. And Suzuki in the OHL. Come on. This could be something for Montreal. Anderson with the good move. Ooh! Oh! What a stop by Fleury! No stick, no nothing. That's a great couple chances by the Habs, though. Oh, look out. Those could be tricky, those bouncing pucks. Not a bad start for either team. We got a couple chances here. That's so wide, you'd like to think it was on purpose. Oh, Petrie did almost have the first goal of the game. Now I just want it. I want the story. I want vindication. I want someone to be like, I made a lot of money on. Oh my God! I made a lot of money on Sports Interaction tonight. Sorry, I was. Well, there's your first good look at it. Oof, Maroon. I will get to your questions in a second. I just got really excited, saying hi to you again. And then the game started, and it's banana sandwich so far. Charles Petrie, how hard was it to agree to watch the Habs, Steve? Not hard. Yeah. Can you imagine? I work at Sportsnet, and they're like, Steve, we would like you to watch sports. And I was like, no, I do not want to watch sports. I want to watch very specific sports. Hockey, and only for one team. Well, that'd be silly. That'd be silly goose of me. Ooh. I think I said this at the beginning of the Leafs-Habs series. Like, I didn't grow up hating Montreal, really. Like, I grew up, it's an intense rivalry, and they had some big games. You're not supposed to like them and all that, but, like, they never... Something about never playing in the playoffs. Ooh! Ruins it. You getting a call here? No, we are not. It's the playoffs. Ooh, you onside right now? Oh, that was a really good opportunity. Habs turn it the other way. This is great pace to the game, or to the start of the game. Cole Caulfield! Not intimidated at all. Oh, not the greatest play. Oh! What a pace! This is an unreal pace. I know the shots say 4-1. I don't think it's been updated, but I would love to know the shot attempts. Holy cow. Anyway, yeah. Leafs and Habs had not played each other in the playoffs in my lifetime until this year. And this year I can't even be mad at the Habs for beating Toronto because they played great in games 5, 6, and 7, and the Leafs just kind of choked. For it to be a real intense rivalry, I should hate Montreal. I don't. I hate the Leafs. I hate the team that I cheered for. But I promise not to talk about the Leafs every 30 seconds, guys. I saw your concerns. Oh, good keep, and he falls. Still got it, though. Sometimes blind passes work. Ooh! You need those players deep in your lineup. Ooh! Is that in? That's in! Looked like it was off the post. What'd I tell you? Did you put money down on Sports Interaction? Huh? First goal! Underdog odds! What'd I tell you? Okay, when I said you need those players deep in your lineup, I was about to talk about Joel Armia. I know he had a good first round. Throws that in, boom! You think Corey Perry. Well, obviously Corey Perry. I mean, we all know the deal with him. Former MVP, kind of past his prime. A lot of hard miles on the body, but he can still play. We saw how good he was in the Stanley Cup final in the bubble. That's a silly and a half. We saw how good he was in the bubble, but Armia strikes me as one of those guys. Like, think of like Brett Connolly, how good he was for the Caps in 2018. Think Devontae Smith-Pelly, Scarborough Zone, how good he was in 2018 for the Capitals. You need those guys deeper in your lineup. And Armia strikes me as a guy who could definitely be that for the Habs. And here they are, up 1-0 in Game 2. Oh, and maybe 2 high stick.
High stick will halt play here.
Let's get to your questions.
So
as they
start for the Canadiens here in game 2 as Armia has
probably.
the and the Canadiens have the lead.
Okay, Drew Olson. Who do you want? We got a commercial break here. Perfect. Drew Olson. Who do you want to see in the Cup final? I know this seems like a cop out. I don't actually care. I want the hockey to be good. You know what I mean? This is obviously a fun series so far. As long as the hockey's good. As long as the hockey's good. We're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, we're going to have Julian McKenzie from The Athletic here. He actually covers the Habs. So don't worry for any of you who are like, get this leaf jerk off the screen. Let's go. Julian McKenzie when we come back.
Step there, the athleticism of Fleury couldn't get there in time, and this trio's found a lot of good chemistry together.
Puck deflected down into the Vegas zone, and Arturi Lehkonen raced after it. Fleury lost his balance in the goal crease as that shot went through, and the Golden Knights will ice the puck.
We saw that a couple times in game 1, and even early on it created a few chances. He comes in, takes a quick peek, and I think he was worried that he was in the no-play zone. Then he gets a little bit of a trip, and a smart play by Edmondson here. Not the hardest shot towards the net, but he just tries to funnel it towards Fleury, maybe catch him off balance, and Fleury able to get his balance and the puck just a little wide.
So 7 of the first 8 shots tonight for Montreal as the puck is played to center ice. Petrie paired with Edmondson, tipped in by Toffoli, and a little confusion there, and the Canadiens get on a loose puck. The Golden Knights are on their heels a bit here in the first period. Now Stone ahead, and Pietrangelo lead them through center over the line, along with Pacioretty. Centering pass off a skate right to Price, who has to kick it away, and now back comes Suzuki. That pass turned over at center, but Caulfield able to tie up Nicholas Waugh. Down goes Stone, and he's a little slow to get up and looks at the official.
Yeah, Suzuki caught him there, and you're right, he took a quick look, some sloppy play.
Oh, there we go. Now I can see. You can't see me. Oh, there I am. What happened? What happened? Anyway, Vegas leading. No, they're not. Montreal leading. I'm so frazzled. There we go. Fixed it. Fixed it. Magic. Montreal leading, just like I told you they would. And look at the shot advantage. Their second straight great start. Oh, chaos in front. I think that was Kolasar getting hit in possibly the bum. That's a interesting glove save and what would have been an amazing keep from Alex Tuck, who's been all over the ice tonight for Vegas. Probably their only guy who's looked good so far. Significantly good, I should say. Guys are falling all over each other. This, I think Vegas is in a little bit of trouble here. Obviously, Montreal already had the good start. Obviously, they're winning in the shot category. Oh! Fleury's had to make at least 2 really good saves. That's Ryan Reeves getting punked off the puck right there. Just shoved off. Supposed to be one of the biggest, toughest guys in the league. This strikes me so far as a game that's a little bit in the muck. And Montreal's going to thrive there. You see that? Vegas wants to fly. They're a heavy team. They can play heavy, but they want to fly. Look at them. Look at them. Flying around. Habs won't let them. And they're going right back at him. The Habs have the speed. Oh! Bit of a knee there, maybe. Is that Petrie? Oh, boy. I think it was Petrie on Riley Smith. I'm going to want a replay of that. Is Riley Smith all right? Looked like he was okay. This isn't it, obviously. Ooh, chaos in front. Oh, Suzuki on Stone. I don't even think that's what we just saw. That was nasty. It's a bit of a trip. Yeah, Riley. Yeah, he avoided anything too nasty, but it is a bit of a trip. Habs head to the power play. Sloppy Nerd asks, thoughts on the CN Tower? I mean, can I just say that I kind of like it? I kind of like Montreal's humiliation of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Because the Leafs deserve it. They deserve to be humiliated, and the Habs have earned the right to rub the Leafs' nose in it. Here's Paul Byron shorthanded. How good have the Habs been shorthanded? My gosh. 19 for 19 their last 8 games. So good. So good. No, it's good that the Habs and their fans and all these organizations and landmarks, the CN Tower, Mayor John Tory in Toronto, Niagara Falls, rub the Leafs' nose in it. By all means, Habs fans. They deserve it. Where'd it go? Fleury again. What's that? Montreal's second shot of the penalty kill in 14 seconds? Guys, this is a really good start for Montreal. Vince, are you going to buy one of those Drew sweaters made by Justin Bieber that the Leafs are always wearing to honor producer Drew? No. First of all, I'm mad at the Leafs. Second of all, I would never wear something to honor producer Drew. How dare you? That guy sucks. Kidding, Drew. I love you. Please don't cut my mic or anything. Oh, uh-oh. Vegas dancing, and the Habs swat him away. Shots 10-2 for Montreal. Stone gets the entry, but again, it's not looking comfortable. Oh, that wasn't looking too comfortable. All right, now Vegas has possession. They have an opportunity to do something here. Took them half the power play to get it. I didn't think there was a guy behind him there, and I was like, what are you doing? Oh! Oh, boy. The one thing I would say about Vegas so far is the Habs are obviously running their show in the shot counter. Is Vegas has put the puck in dangerous positions, but not necessarily come away with a shot on goal. And what happened there a few seconds ago was a good example. This could be something too. Boy, they are not afraid to rip it at all. Price, a little bit scrambly right now. Vegas running out of time, though. Maybe one more shot. Boy, did they love to rip it.
know, every series is different, and
Now
teams
what?
play differently in front of you. So in game one, it was Carey Price trying to find these passes across. Look at the screen there. He's got not only Weber, but a great.
We're going to
job
try
on
to get
Stone.
Julian
The
McKenzie
reaction, he didn't know
next
where it was.
break.
Another shot coming
Listen.
through, right through the legs this time. Great
This is our
position.
first official
Able to
Watch a
squeeze that
Habs
one
game
under his
with
arm
Steve
and not
Dangle.
leave anything for Riley
We did not
Smith.
have guests for Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle. That was my sad little lonely adventure. Just being alone and watching the Leafs stink. Sportsnet. So Canadiens fan reaction tomorrow. No. Not because I don't like them. Just because those videos take a long time and I don't have any. Because you're making me do these streams. Sportsnet. Not you're making me. I am doing these streams. And there are only 24 hours in a day, which I don't know who to write to about that, but it's not enough. Am I right? 24 hours is not enough. Are they onside right now? I think so. Something about Price's positioning tonight looks not like Carey Price. I don't know how to describe it, but he's only had to face 3 shots. He's been flying out there, though. Does not look the most comfortable in his crease right now. This game is too fast-paced to read your questions. Nope. I tried. I was about to. Woo! See? See what I mean? Price with the stop. It's at his chest. Can't control the rebound. Not necessarily saying he looks bad or anything, but like he just... Carey Price is calm. He's poised. He just... There you go. Like that. Like that's an underratedly confident little move there. Catch it, move it, done. It's the sort of thing you expect out of Carey Price. You don't expect to see him spinning like a top. I do expect that out of Marc-Andre Fleury, not because he's bad, but because he's kind of... I mean, he's a good goalie, but I never think Marc-Andre Fleury and calm. That dude is a wild man in the net. Oh, this could be something for Gallagher. Over top. Carlson, blind pass, but he clears it. Dade, thoughts on Hyman reportedly not returning to the Leafs? Oh, sure. We got the Leaf fans invading the chat. I'm joking. That sucks, dude. It really does, but he's got some hard miles on the body. That's more of an emotionally tough thing to swallow. Logistically, I understand it perfectly. That's a good battle from Anderson. And they still haven't... Nope, still haven't cleared it. Oh! That's a great play. Fleury leaving a lot of open net there, too. That battle from Anderson led to all of this. All of this right now. Byron's got those happy feet tonight. Throws it on. Vegas with the... Oh, what are you thinking there? Oh, was that a tip? I think that's Habs high stick. I'm just going by the ref doing his air traffic control. Again, I can't hear the game.
Not an icing call and not a timeout upcoming.
Brent Arnold, carrot muffins back tonight. No, but we do have lemon loaf. So if I get hungry, I may have lemon loaf. So we're going to go to break. When we come back, we'll have Julian McKenzie from The Athletic. See you in a minute. All right, everybody, welcome back to watch a Habs game with me, Steve Dangle, here on the Sportsnet YouTube channel. This is a very silly life that I live, Julian McKenzie. And by the way, here's Julian McKenzie from The Athletic. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm just happy to hang out and watch a Habs game with Steve Dangle.
Well, so we talked the other day, and you were
Yeah.
talking about Game 3. Do you know if you're going yet?
I don't know yet. I have no. I'll tell you this: like the way it works at the Bell Center, at least for the playoffs, I think they only have like so much available seating to the press. And like for Game 6 of the Leafs series, I asked to go, and they were like, "We don't have space." But then for the Winnipeg Jets series, I was able to go. So now I have no clue what the status will be like for me for this series. Who knows? We'll see.
So you went to the Habs Jets series. Please tell everyone in the chat what it's like to go to a hockey game in 2021.
So checking in is like going through the airport. You're basically going through all these different checkpoints. You're getting your bag checked by all the security people. You're getting your temperature checked. You have to wear a mask. They're using these tongs to give you these masks and these glasses. You have to walk around with masks and like security glasses. I don't think I have a pair hanging around here, but like they're these plastic glasses. And like you're kind of like spaced out from everybody, which is kind of interesting. Another fun thing, Game 3 of the Jets series was the first time I was at a hockey game as a media member since joining The Athletic. And
Wow.
I got to like meet all of my media friends there for the first time since joining The Athletic. So yeah, that was interesting.
God, this got to be so strange. What do you think of this game so far? I assume you didn't start watching when you joined us. So Habs with a furious start. They got a shot taken away in the commercial break, but they're still outshooting Vegas significantly and obviously outscoring them 1-0. What do you see?
And like they're having a lot of offensive zone time as well. Like that play with leading to the Yoel Armia goal. We've seen that fourth line do that so many times in this postseason, just hemming the opposing line they're up against. And Jeff Petry's another guy I noticed as well. Got to at least 2 shots to start off the game. He's been active. We didn't even know if he was going to play, and now he's playing, and he's looking like their best defenseman out there.
That's the first time I've seen in these playoffs. So the Habs tweeted the official lineup card, Petry's out, and he's in.
Yeah.
That's the first time. What, for lack of a better question, what happened? What happened
I don't
was...
know. I have no clue, dude. Like,
Oh,
I'll
that's
just-
another one!
what?
2-0.
That's the second one.
That was,
Wow.
I think it was Toffoli with the shot, and we got a deflection.
If you remember Game 1, Suzuki
Uh,
played on a draw and ended
by the
up
way,
in
I
the
called
back of their net here.
Montreal getting the first goal in this game. So Nick Suzuki with the faceoff win. Cole Caulfield wins it back to the point. Is that Petry? I'm not sure. Caulfield to Toffoli, and it just squeaks through him.
Making sure never a bad
Oh, it is
feed,
Petry.
as quickly
You
as
weren't
he
kidding
can.
about the best defenseman, right?
But Cole
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Like, you know what's funny, actually? Like, I was talking about it with my good buddy Justin Cuthbert just about the game in Game 1, and he was saying the Canadiens really need Jeff Petry back pronto just to make their defense look good. And, I mean, damn it, he's right. I mean, look, no disrespect to Ben Sherrod and Shea Weber and all the other guys on that defensive core, but looking at how good Vegas has been with their defense in Game 1, the Canadiens need someone who can at least match what the Vegas Golden Knights can bring on defense. And Jeff Petry's the closest guy, but he really needed a game like this tonight in this postseason, because otherwise he's just had like 3 assists. Well, before tonight anyway.
Right. Before big block. Before the playoffs began.
Yeah.
So Game 1, it's difficult to talk and watch this at the same time. Before it began, Cole Caulfield was a healthy scratch for Game 1 of the playoffs. And I mean, I disagreed with it, but the argument that I made in support of it is he's played 10 games. And we don't necessarily know what he is. So he's got to go from college to NHL regular season to playoffs very fast. And he's known as this finisher, and he brings finishing power. The thing that's impressed me the most in these playoffs is his playmaking ability. What have you noticed about this kid so far?
Yeah, the playmaking ability, I'm really glad that you mentioned that, and his elusiveness. There's been a few times where he'll enter the zone or he'll just have the puck and a defenseman will kind of close in on him or an opposing player, and he's just able to get out of that situation. And one big thing that people were worried about Cole Caulfield coming into the NHL was him finding his own space. And I think in the short amount of time that he's been in the NHL, I think he's done a decent job. But you're absolutely right. His playmaking ability has been a huge asset, not just for him, but for the Montreal Canadiens. I mean, the Tyler Toffoli series clinching goal in Game 4 came as a result of Caulfield digging the puck out of a corner and creating a play. His playmaking has been arguably the best thing about him in this postseason.
I always said that about. No, I'm not even going to say it. I was going to compare him to someone who wears blue and white, but they're not wearing their reverse retros tonight, so I won't even do it. We do have questions from the chat as well. I was about to answer this question, but then you joined us, so I would love your opinion here. So
Cool.
from it's either Nicholas or Nicola. Are you done doubting Price? All year you were saying he was done. Us Habs fans got receipts. Now, this is at least the second straight year his regular season percentage, save percentage, has been extremely mediocre, and his playoff save percentage has been elite. So I'm not going to do this a third time. But right, so next year when he's got like a 909, through 30 games, I'm and the Habs are in a playoff spot. Like, I'm gonna learn my lesson. So what is it about Carey Price? What's the difference? What's the big difference between the regular season and playoffs?
I just get the sense now that, like, off of like the career that he's had, like the regular season, maybe I'm wrong in this, but this kind of like been there, done that. But also he just wasn't healthy. I don't think he was healthy that much in the regular season. I think health is a huge equalizer when it comes to Carey Price. But it's very clear when he's healthy and he's on top of it, he'll be on top of his game, and he gives the Canadiens the best chance to win. I don't think you realize there were people in Montreal who, and I guess I understand, they were really thinking like Jake Allen deserved to be the game one starter against the Leafs.
Yep, I saw that. I did see that.
Like, no disrespect to Jake Allen. Like, he did as best as he could for the Canadiens. And I get in the second half of the year they weren't great. But Carey Price, you're paying him all that money. He's won you so many playoff games before. Like, how could you not start this dude in the playoffs? And I will say this. There are a lot of people during the regular season, too, who were saying, man, there's a goaltending controversy. Carey Price isn't healthy. Start Jake Allen. I could say from day one, this whole season, I was like, nah, Carey Price is your guy. Oh,
good chance. Good chance at the end of the period there.
Carey Price has been the team's guy. So you can say I never wavered.
Okay, you know what I think needs to die? Just because it got really bad this year. Is as fans, we're in first intermission now, by the way. Welcome back to the Sportsnet YouTube channel. Click like and subscribe and all that. Here with Julian McKenzie. Yeah. We need to stop as fans playing doctor, because when I saw the Habs are going to activate Price only for the playoffs, my immediate thought was he's hurt. Why did I think that when for months we were accusing the Tampa Bay Lightning of essentially cheating by holding out Nikita Kucherov? The Lightning should have activated Kucherov earlier. Why? And the Habs should have activated Price earlier. Why? Like, they were obviously, they're vindicated. Everyone who handled Price's health this season is vindicated, are they not?
I mean, I don't see the sense of trying to rush a guy to play meaningless regular season games when they're not at 100%, when the goal is to get through the playoffs. And just a quick comment on the Kucherov thing here. Every other team, if they were in that same position Tampa Bay is in, they're doing the same thing. If Austin Matthews finds himself in a situation where his hip is busted, the Leafs would probably do the same thing. And I wonder how many people would complain about it. But that's just me.
Well, here's the difference. The Leafs go, all right, we're going to galaxy brain this and hold Austin Matthews out all season. They're missing the playoffs. So
Kyle Dubas is a genius.
Yeah, Tampa's in a pretty unique situation. Julian, I know you got an article to write for The Athletic, so I won't keep you any longer. But thanks so much for joining us, dude. What's your Twitter again for everybody?
McKenzie. It's McKenzie. Check me out on Twitter and check out all the other stuff I do. It's too many things. Just go on my Twitter bio, you'll see it.
Exactly. That's what I tell everyone. Why you got to make me explain everything? Just go click on the links and stuff. Julian, I really appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming and enjoy game 2.
Likewise, my G. Talk to you soon.
See you, man.
Peace.
Julian McKenzie. Guys, what a first period for the Montreal Canadiens. Up 2-0. The shot attempt counter sort of was in line with what I was saying. I think the final shots were 10-4. The shot attempts weren't as egregious of an advantage for the Montreal Canadiens. They were getting their attempts. They were just struggling to get them on goal. There were a few blocks, a few scrambles in there. But Montreal, they looked faster. They looked very unafraid. And now they're really on their way to taking home ice advantage away for the 3rd consecutive series. Can you imagine that? First round, they win game 1, take it away from the Leafs. Second round, they win game 1, take it away from the Jets. Third round, they do lose game 1 to Vegas, but if they win game 2, all of a sudden they have home ice advantage for the series. Unless it goes to 7, of course. Man, this team's legit. This team is legit. I am telling you. I have so many of your questions, but we're going to get to them after a quick break. This is Steve Dangle here on the Sportsnet YouTube channel. Watch a Leaf game with Steve Dangle. No, force a habit. Watch a Habs game with Steve Dangle. Sorry, I did it for 2 weeks. Watch a Habs game with Steve Dangle. I'll be right back where I will learn the name of the show. Welcome back to Watch a Habs Game with Steve Dangle. Obviously, I'm Steve Dangle. We have Sportsnet insider Chris Johnston with us, and we'll talk to him in just a sec. But first, I got to tell you about Sports Interaction. They're our big sponsor here, and we're talking about will Vegas have a goal total for the second period? Will it be over or under 1.5? Obviously, they can't score 1.5 goals. Basically, do you think they will score more than one? You know what I mean? They had a really rough first period, but they had a really rough first period in the first game. They got it together in the second, and then they sort of rode it from there. So Sports Interaction, providing competitive odds on all sports. Sports Interaction is Canada's odds maker, obviously 18 plus, and play responsibly. Did you get all those instructions there, CJ?
I did, and I'm smashing the under on that one. There's no way they're getting 2 goals here.
You got to give good advice, man. I gave everyone good advice for Sports Interaction. I said the Habs would score first, and they did. Take the underdog there.
That's good. So you would have advised everyone to get a bet that would pay them better odds than what I just did. So I'm giving you the obvious advice, but I still think Carey Price is going to be tough to get 2 by him in this period.
Yeah, it's generally pretty tough. What do you got going on, man? We got questions from the chat, but I just want to know how you're doing tonight.
I'm doing all right. I'm out here in Picton, Ontario, Prince Edward County. I'm still doing work, but I'm not attending any of the playoff games right now. So working from here. It's been good. Watching hockey every night, chilling out during the days, and nothing to complain about. I've actually been enjoying the series in the third round so far.
The later we get into the NHL season, the more pressure I always get on Twitter to do Jays videos. And I saw you putting on your little Jays hat, talking about the bullpen and everything. You ever consider that? You ever go, I'm going to dip my toe in the baseball pool?
I was actually thinking last night, because I was so frustrated, if I did something like your Leafs fan reaction videos, for me, it would be the Jays. Now, I don't think I could ever do 162 in a season emotionally, just functionally, literally every day. But the Jays, since I was a kid, have had a piece of my heart, and they're stomping all over it this week. They're getting leads in every game and not managing to keep them. And in fact, I have a second screen here right now that I got an eye on. There's 2 out in the 9th inning, and let's hope they can deliver us a hit.
Oh, come on, boys. We got some questions if you're down.
Yeah, whatever. Let's do it.
So Shannon says, do you, CJ, does CJ think Seattle could land Eichel? Shannon coming out of the gate very aggressively.
I don't see it. Look, anything's possible.
Yeah.
But, I think one of the challenges Seattle would have is they just don't have a lot to trade back the other way to Buffalo, right? I mean, this deal, if it gets consummated, is going to be a monster one for the Sabres. It starts with a first-round pick. That is something that Seattle has, the 3rd overall pick coming up here in the next month or so. But I don't know if they have the players at this point, and even after the expansion draft, I'm not sure they would have the guys that would take to get that done. And look, Vegas was such an awesome story. They remain an awesome story for the league here in year 4. But, I don't think Seattle is trying to win the Stanley Cup in year 1. They know that probably the biggest mistakes they could make would be rushing through things, giving up some of the advantages they have. What's the advantage they have right now? They don't have one bad contract on the books. Now, they also don't have many contracts on the books. And so as they build out their team, I think that they're going to be fairly patient. Vegas started patient, got a little less patient after going all the way to the Cup final in year 1. But I don't think that we'll see the Kraken follow that exact same game plan here in their first year of existence.
So I would love you to just drop CJ bombs right now, but I think I need you to be a bit of a wet blanket here.
Oh, no.
Far too many people have said, well, they can make it work if it's Eichel and Skinner. There's beyond 0% chance that happens, right?
I can't see that. I really can't. I guess I like where the people's minds are at, though. They're trying to get a blockbuster together for us. I just don't see the incentive for Seattle, quite honestly. It's nothing to do with the quality of Jack Eichel. I just think that there's so many other teams around the league, whether it's Los Angeles, Columbus, we can go down the list. There's a number of teams that I think make a lot more sense for where they're at and have, a bunch of things that could trade to Buffalo. And so for Buffalo, look, this can't just be a cap dump, right? This isn't about, just getting rid of a player, even if it's Jeff Skinner, and obviously he's got a really challenging contract with where his career's gone. I think if you're trading Jack Eichel, you got to be getting serious pieces back in return, because it's going to be hard to ever win that kind of trade.
Obviously, we're watching the second period. It's just begun here on the Sportsnet YouTube channel. Once again, don't forget to click like and subscribe. Tell all your friends and all that. We're here with Chris Johnston. I want one more.
So what are the rules here before we go? I mean, how closely should I be watching this game?
I was the one. So we had Julian McKenzie on, and Tyler Toffoli scored the 2-0 goal, and he was mid-answer, and I just went, "Oh, he scored!" I just yelled right over him. So. You are the guests. I am the host. You just focus on having a great time. And
okay.
If I got to yell over you, I will.
Perfect. All right.
The last Seattle thing I want to say, and obviously we'll get to the Habs and Golden Knights. There's this, I've heard it said too many times. No, too many teams got fleeced last expansion draft with Vegas, and they're not going to let that happen again. And the closer we get to it, I'm like, really? Coming out of a pandemic, no one has any cash, the cap is flat, no one has any cap space. CJ, there's no way they don't make the exact same mistakes again, because they have to, pretty much this time, right?
Well, someone's going to make a mistake. I mean, you got 30 teams here. Vegas is actually exempt from the process, but you have 30 teams that have to put in protected lists and make decisions with their team. There's probably 5 or 6. And I'm not as up to date on this as I should be, but there's about 5 or 6 that have some real challenges that I think have some difficult decisions. I know Colorado's defense is kind of an obvious one, where they just got so many good guys there. Do they just protect the 3 or 4 that they like the best and resign themselves to losing someone? Do they try to make a deal with Ron Francis? That's really where teams got in trouble with Vegas, right? It's the deals. It was just not letting someone take one good player off your roster. In some cases, they traded 2 away to you to not take another player. But look, I don't think everyone has learned every lesson. And it wasn't just lessons. You're right. I mean, this expansion draft was designed to give these teams, to put the teams in a bind, right? If you can only protect 3D, there's some pretty good fourth defensemen in the league on the good teams, especially if you're only protecting 4 forwards in some cases. I know obviously, first and second year pros are exempted, but still you're potentially exposing players off your second pair or your second line. And that's tough, especially for teams trying to win a Stanley Cup to lose those type of guys. So yes, I think there'll be trades. I think everything came together perfectly for the Golden Knights. What's funny, Steve? I don't know what you thought that night. I was in Vegas when they had the expansion draft. I have no recollection of anyone saying this was a home run. I mean, it was sort of
none.
It was an interesting collection of players. By then, we knew Marc-Andre Fleury would be one of them. He was kind of the star of the night in a sense. I would say they're their most notable guy coming off, Stanley Cup in Pittsburgh and all that. But I don't think anyone thought that they would become what they've become so quickly. And so, yeah, there was mistakes made with the benefit of hindsight that night, but also. Yeah, I think maybe, do you know what the lesson is? How many guys on that team, whether it's William Karlsson, Jonathan Marchessault, so how many guys just never got a chance to play as high up the lineup as they had in the NHL than when they got to Vegas? And that's another thing that's going to happen in Seattle is you're going to be picking middle of the roster players or players that have not been top liners, and some of them are going to get top line minutes, and a few of them might thrive under those conditions.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like a lot of these teams, Columbus got roasted, Florida got roasted. For their talent evaluation, but what about us? What about us as fans and people who watch the sport? None of us thought Vegas was going to be good, and I think the opportunity thing was a big part of it. I mean, is that off the post? I can't hear the broadcast. I think Pacioretty just hit the post, or he had a good chance right there, 2-on-1. Yeah, sorry. Part of the reason was we looked at the depth.
The under 1.5 bet is still looking good if that was off the post. Stay strong out there.
We're less than 4 minutes in. Oh, I'm thinking it's not looking so good there, CJ.
Yeah, Vegas has come out with some vigor here.
Oh my God. I was going to say something about William Karlsson, but I sort of forgot it. Here we go. Oh, he does rip it right off the bar. Woo!
What a shot.
He does have a hell of a shot, doesn't he? Oh, my God.
Aging like a fine wine, too.
Absolutely.
Max Pacioretty, he's got a monster season production-wise.
On the Habs, Jordan from the chat asks, thoughts on Ducharme as a coach? Now, he's still interim, right, on the title?
He is still interim. I mean, this is what a story this has been, the Canadiens, honestly. Had that series ended against Toronto in Game 5 or Game 6 or even Game 7, how differently would the discussion be around the team when it comes to Marc Bergevin's decisions in the offseason, maybe even Marc Bergevin's own future? That was very much up in the air. I should say it's still up in the air, but it's harder to imagine a change being necessitated given how this has gone. And Dominic Ducharme and his coaching staff, I think that there was probably a lot to second guess in that first round series. If you remember, Cole Caulfield, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, started the series against Toronto in round 1 in the press box. We didn't see Alexander Romanov. I know he's out again tonight, but he got in. But anyway, they started some of the older guys, and it didn't look too good. Well, now it looks great. And so, I think what we're learning about him is he's got an interesting approach. I think he's got his players' attention. And, what you're seeing now, it's the product of coaching and, of course, success. But, I mean, this team has a ton of confidence. And so, it's not a time right now where anyone's making any decisions about the future. If you're working for the Canadiens right now, all you're worried about is trying to be as ready for these games as possible. There's not a whole lot, I don't think, going on behind the scenes in terms of who's staying and who's going. But, when you coach a team to the third round of the playoffs, again, no matter how this series turns out, I would have to imagine he's back. And, I think that he's grown into the role. It was a tough situation, too. Remember, weird COVID season, taking over midway through, not a lot of practice time. They had their own COVID shutdown and then a crazy compacted schedule down the stretch. And so, that was a real test for the coach, for the team, and they both passed so far.
So on the topic of, COVID season and everything like that, how do you come in and bond with the guys as a new guy? Were they spending unbelievable amount of time together because they were basically the only people they could talk to? Or was it not quite as intimate as in, normal times, I guess?
No, I got the feeling that this was an incredible season for team bonding actually across the league. I think one of the positive things I've heard from people I talk to that work for teams or even a few players is that because especially early in the season, some of the rules have been, relaxed here as teams have gotten double vaccinated. But early in the season, the rules were so strict. Essentially, the only thing they could do on the road was spend time. Oh,
Vegas on the board, maybe? What happened there? What happened there? Sorry, not to cut you off, CJ. Did Bryce stop that? He looks cool as a cucumber. What happened here? So we got Petro setting up.
Oh,
no!
Wow. Did he wink again or what?
He should. Or no. That hit him in the head? I don't know. All I know is it didn't go in. It's difficult because I can't hear the post. No, I think Price gets a piece of this dude.
He did. He definitely did.
Oh, my God. What a stop. That whole building thought it was in.
That building must be going bananas right now. I have to say, for fans out there, Vegas, in times when it's safe to travel and you're comfortable doing so for road trips, I mean, Vegas is a must-hit to go see your favorite team play. It's like a nightclub, but it's just so much fun. It's just a great place to watch a game.
I feel like I know the answer to this, but this question comes from Steve D. Which building do you wish you were in more right now? The Le Centre Bell or in Vegas?
Actually, Le Centre Bell for me.
Okay.
I've actually, it's funny you say this. It's because the topic of buildings comes up, when I meet fans or, talk to people. For me, and I'm not religious, so maybe I can get away with saying this. It's like going to the Vatican if you're Catholic to me, to go to the Bell Center and watch a game. And, I covered the playoff series in 2014. I covered a few rounds when they went to the Eastern Conference Final, the Canadiens. And being there at playoff time when the weather turns, just such an awesome city, Montreal. the way it feels, that was one thing. That's only my one regret, I guess, that we had this Leafs Canadian series, was that we didn't get the full experience of the fans and the atmosphere and everything that would have come with that. And so if it was full buildings, if we're just going into like parallel universe right now, I would want to be in a full Le Centre Bell watching this game with 22,000 or 21 plus, and just the whole theater of the way they put on games there. But since I know they're going to still have limited capacity when the series shifts back on Friday night, but I'd rather be in Vegas just because, man, we've been missing this. It looks like the NHL again. Like, it looks real.
Yes, it doesn't look made up. I think Vegas is about to go to the power play here. Yoel Armia, probably a hold.
So all of a sudden, Vegas is playing downhill in this game, eh?
They're it's almost a repeat of Game 1. I think it's just a little bit more extreme. Montreal is more dominant, and Vegas looks more dominant now.
And what we've learned about the Canadiens, like getting the lead changes everything for them. I think sort of like the Islanders on the other side, because they're a really good team at limiting the dangerous chances and that. So when they're playing from ahead, when they're not cheating at all for offense, they've been able to suck the life out of games and opponents. It's not working so far here, but 2-0 lead's a good spot.
The power play Vegas had in the first period, I thought showed what a great matchup this is, because the first minute they can't do a thing. Habs get 2 shots in 14 seconds. They've killed off their last 19 or whatever the number was. And then the second half, it was all Vegas. I don't know how many shots they ended up getting through, but it felt like they had 3, 4, 5 decent chances. Their D-men love to just wail on the thing.
Yeah.
We have a question. Oh, by the way, click like, subscribe, all that host stuff. Make me look good. Click subscribe and like, and yada.
Should I do that too, or?
Can you? Can you take over for me? Can you just do it?
I don't know. Am I supposed to subscribe to your channel or what?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, mine as well, yes, but also Sportsnet. From Snezhinka, any offer sheet madness this summer as we watch this power play here?
I want to sell you on that hope. I really do, but I just don't see it. I mean, we had the Sebastian Aho one 2 years ago, but Matthew Barzal. There's just so many players that have this sort of skill where they could go sign something like that, and it hasn't materialized. That I don't see it coming this summer. But I guess someone has to be the next one to do it. I think a flat cap environment, though, you're going to see more. You're going to see teams be a little bit more conservative, I'd say, with free agents and free agency, and then obviously offer sheets are part of restricted free agency. But I don't think the conditions are in place right now, and there's not a certain player that I have my eye on where I think that's likely to happen.
I was listening to the 31 Thoughts today, and I don't remember if it was Friedge or Merrick. They mentioned Svechnikov in Carolina.
Mm-hmm. As an offer sheet?
As a potential candidate. I think they were just going along the lines of Aho. And this is my own personal note to what they were talking about. Boy, does Carolina do business slowly, eh?
Well, they do it in their own way, and I think they believe in it, and it's sort of hard to argue with the results in terms of the way that's gone with the team.
Yep.
I know they've had sort of a couple tough divorces with people that's worked in the organization and stuff, and so it's not always pretty side of the business. But to me, okay, so with Svechnikov, I know they've talked even going back a year with him, so there have been at least there's been a dialogue about what his next deal will look like. And I just think if you're another team and you love the player, and I'm sure basically every other team out there loves a player, you saw what happened with Aho, and that didn't work out. And so why go through the trouble? I mean, there's even a practical side to this that, I don't expect most people to be sympathetic to, but when you sign a player to an offer sheet, the other team has 7 days to match. And so there's 7 days where that cap space, and it's an important 7 days of the schedule because you're usually signing the offer sheet on or around the first day of free agency, where you can't, allocate that money elsewhere. And I just think if you feel like it's a futile exercise, like if you're not really, really, really quite certain you're going to get the player, I don't think it's worth going there. And that's probably the lesson of the Aho offer sheet, because, Montreal clearly thought they had a chance to get him. And, Carolina matched within a day or so.
I have two very important questions. One, how you feeling about your over-under bet so far?
I'm not quite as confident, even though the time is melting away, just because I'm seeing the chances in that end of the ice.
Yeah.
I must admit, I spent a lot of time around Elliot Friedman and David Amber, both pretty into the sports betting. So I live and die with them, but I don't have a ton of personal experience with it. So I'd be nervous if I had put my own money on that right now.
And we have a second question from Chicken Nugget Officer. Steve or CJ, do you put milk before cereal or cereal before milk? There's
cereal before milk.
Answer. Cereal before milk, absolutely. I was about to kick you right off. No, that's good. Cereal before milk, absolutely.
It didn't even occur to me someone would consider doing it in reverse.
CJ, you on the TikTok?
I am a little bit. I only follow pretty much Sean McKenzie. Like every time Sean McKenzie posts a video, I get a notification. So I always click it and see what Sean's up to.
There are people who just post TikToks of upsetting things.
Okay.
Like slightly annoying things, something like that. Or like they're cutting a piece of paper perfectly straight and then they'll screw it up on purpose with a little rip. And it's just something maddening about putting cereal on top of the milk. That's a great question there. Chicken Nugget Officer.
Chicken Nugget Officer, though, you got to go cereal first. Like if you were my buddy and I saw you go in reverse, I'd just be like, out of the house. Enough. You're going home from the cottage early.
From Jonathan, should the NHL implement the double IHF 3-on-3 continuous overtime? Whoa! What happened there? Is he okay?
He's okay. Well, it's the playoffs. You never know.
Right. He's playoff okay.
Yeah, like Jeff Petrie had that chance in second shift of the game or whatever. And I
was about to say Jeff Petrie, like a picture of him right now is the definition of playoff okay.
Right. Can't even do the proper warm-up, but finds a way to play. What a guy.
So I have a hard time keeping up because the Habs they have so many injuries right now. The what looks like burst blood vessels in Petrie's eyes, is that related to why he missed game one?
I don't know what's going on with the red eyes. No, I think he's got fractured or dislocated fingers in his shooting hand on his stick. He's got a hand injury is what has been keeping him out. The red eye stuff I saw, I mean, they mentioned it briefly on the broadcast when I was watching in the first period, and I've seen it all over Twitter, but I have no idea what's going on there.
The only I don't want to play doctor. I don't want to play doctor. I'm not.
Nothing good can come from you speculating what's going on there.
I'm not going to. I was just going to say he reminds me of a friend of mine, and I know how he got hurt, but I'm not going to say it.
Offline, I want to hear that story.
I will tell you, it's a very good one, and none of you get to hear it. This is exactly how they tell you to host a show. Tease stories that no one can hear. No, I don't know. Trust me, this is for the best. This is for the best for all involved. But rest assured, that person is a father now. I'm at that age where I'm like, oh, you're a dad. I've seen all the stupid things you do. If Vegas is to score in this period,
yeah,
and they're to score 2, which would ruin your bet. They would get the over.
How much did I put down?
$4,000.
Oh man, so I'm really nervous in these last 9 minutes of the period.
Yeah.
I'm like David Amber gets nervous when he's got $10 on a bet and it gets tight. So, who's going to score for Vegas?
Yeah.
Their D are active, man.
Really active.
I'm going to go with the hot hand and say Nick Holden.
Okay.
Had a goal in the first game of the series. And then maybe a more obvious pick in Jonathan Marchessault.
At some point, their forwards are going to have to join this series, eh? Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, though. So the only prediction my predictions are terrible, as anyone who's familiar with Sportsnet.ca's predictions are happy to point out and the story of my season. But the one thing I did say when I was on the radio this afternoon with Jeff Blair in Toronto is, he was sort of painting the picture as Montreal, is this series over? Like, is it too much for them based on what we saw in game one? I was like, I don't know. First of all, I just find it's always dangerous to make too declarative of statements off of one game in a playoff series. So often you see one go one distinct way and game two go the other way, and then you're back to the start. And I thought, in watching Vegas last year, I was in Edmonton when they played the Western Conference Final. Like, the goals were so hard for them to come by. I mean, Vancouver gets them to the seventh game despite giving up like 50 shots a game, it felt like, the last few.
Right.
Because they were having trouble scoring. Then they get in that series with Dallas, and there's not a lot of goals there. And so, I still think they're a great team, and they don't have a lot of pure finishers, I would say. And so if you're Montreal and you can get a lead like that, this is the scenario I laid out. It's like, if they can get a lead in the game and sort of put some pressure on those guys, because they know that in big moments in the past they've had trouble generating goals even while generating a ton of shots, that there's maybe a path to the series. And so I'm looking smart so far, but lots of time to go on that clock.
Well, speaking of you looking smart and people making fun of predictions and everything, your juggernaut tweet from the beginning of the season saying the Habs look like a juggernaut. Everyone in the world let you know about it and ripped on you. Are they equally as loud letting you know you were right?
No. The odd person, I actually pinned it to the top of my profile when they got through the second round. Because people, I think off the top of my head, I think that I might have tweeted that February 2nd, I believe, somewhere around that anyway, a long time ago. And no matter what was going on between February 2nd and like May 10th, people were still firing that into my timeline pretty much daily, just for something. Like, sometimes nothing to do with the Canadiens, just another comment on something else going on with the Canadian team, whatever. People kept digging through and finding it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pin this thing up here. So you guys don't have to look for it. You can just find it, say your piece. I love you, Internet. I resisted deleting it or trying to walk it back. I'm just leaning into it. I ran a marathon wearing a Juggernaut t-shirt just to prove I wasn't jinxing anything.
Who told you to do that?
This guy, Steve Dangle.
Boy. Yeah.
Do you know what's funny? I ended up with 2 Juggernaut t-shirts because I ordered one that didn't come on time, so then I had to order a second one. So I've got 2 Juggernaut t-shirts just to pull off that bit. And you know what? It's all come around. So I was probably wrong to jump. I was wrong. Like, immediately after I tweeted that, unfortunately, Claude Julien gets fired. The Canadiens didn't have any basically winning streaks of any meaningful length. Kind of hobbled into the playoffs. But, clearly there's something about the heart of this team and the way they're built that they're now, 8 wins or 7.5 wins potentially away here from a Stanley Cup?
Well, CJ, there are no half wins, as we learned in the first round. We learned that pretty intimately. I did want to ask, while we still have you, what are we eventually going to learn once the season's over about the coach firing with this team? Because it's kind of forgotten now that they're in the Final Four that they began the season with a different coach.
What do you mean, what are we going to learn? Like, do you think there's some...
Well, reasons why. Like, is it just we don't like the team? Because they had a winning record. They were coming off a really good start.
I think it was the opposite of that. I think it's that they liked the team and they felt like they were out of answers with the coach and they couldn't risk missing the playoffs. I'm not sure. It's funny because you might end up where you wanted to get anyway here, but I'm not sure they got the immediate bounce that teams typically rely on when they make that kind of move in season. But, I think that was entirely just playing one of the cards they still had to play at that point in time. They'd spent a lot of money in the offseason, made some pretty big trades and acquisitions. At that stage of the season, there's only so many things Marc Bergevin could do. And, Claude Julien paid the price for that. And I just think it sort of underscored at that point in time how desperate this season was to get results. And what's amazing is that they've managed here to get results. And honestly, like, I'm not ruling anything out. I still think they could win the Stanley Cup. Hardly a hot take when they're one of 4 teams still remaining. But,
right.
I see some people talking about them like, oh, this thing's just going to end now. Like, I don't necessarily see that. I see a confident team. And, the one thing that's consistent from February till now is there's still a lot riding on this. And, as much as they're sort of playing with borrowed or house money down there in Vegas right now, who's to say when they'll get a chance this good again? And so, I think if you're Carey Price and Shea Weber and this, pretty veteran team, I mean, Corey Perry, like, it's unreal. I think that was his 8th point in 13 playoff games this year that he picked up. Like, I don't know. I think they got something here, and I'm not counting them out.
Chris Johnston, and the J stands for Juggernaut. We're learning. Earlier.
So what do I do with that tweet if they win a Stanley Cup?
Well, you're NFT guy, right?
Yeah.
That's got to be an NFT. I'm thinking you make 30 grand because it's whatever. It's just you make it whatever it is. How much is it to like?
Whoa! Look at this.
I know, dude.
He's looked good though. He has. He's done exactly what he needs to do to contribute.
Again, I'm not gonna say, but like that's
playoffs are unreal, man. I still remember Boston losing that one Stanley Cup final, and they came out and said that Patrice Bergeron played with a partially collapsed lung.
Punctured, I think it was.
Punctured. Okay. Either way.
Like, yeah, that's wild. Now, I don't know a ton about it. I know it looks gruesome, but he can obviously see. Like, surely they wouldn't let him play with impaired vision, right?
No. I mean, he's surrounded by medical professionals, and obviously he's been closely monitored here the last few days. I have no idea what that is. I'm not a doctor, but I'm can't imagine there's any risk or impaired vision or anything like that. It probably looks worse than it is, if that makes sense.
I mean, it maybe distracts from the hand injury. Maybe.
Right. I saw people on Twitter saying, like, is he wearing, like, something to make that happen, to look scary on the ice? And it's like, wow, that would be next level trolling, but I don't think so.
They're all wearing Rey Mysterio, Jeff Hardy, like wrestling style contacts.
Contact lenses, yeah.
Who would the first player in the NHL be to do that on purpose, thinking it's a good idea?
Tom Wilson?
Oh my God! But he should. How can he make his eyes like angelic? Who, me? Like, I don't think he should lean into the villain thing. I think he should tongue in cheek be like a cherub. I'm
just thinking of a guy that, like, he intimidates just by being who he is, right? I mean, just by looking at him, I think opponents don't really want to mess with them.
We got a question from Shelby, and I actually really like this. Thoughts on Zach Whitecloud's play for Vegas and in his career? So he was a guy who I thought had, even though Vegas was pretty dominant, I thought he had a really tough bubble. He had those 2 unfortunate plays where he went to throw a hit and flew into the bench.
Right.
This year he looks a little bit more poised to me. What do you think?
Yeah, look, he's still young. You know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about someone with 400 games under his belt yet at this level. I think extremely promising player for Vegas. And we have to remember especially that I think defensemen at times, because when you make one, you can play a game and make one error, but that error ends up on an opponent's stick and directly in the net. Like, when you're a defenseman, that your errors tend to be a little bit more glaring, not exclusively, but so I think it's easy sometimes to nitpick younger players, and because there is, if a winger makes a bad pass, half the time it doesn't even result in a true scoring chance against, or someone else makes a good play behind them. It's just lost in sort of the minutia of the game. So, I think we should be careful with younger defensemen. I think super promising guy, and Vegas is going to need that at some point. I mean, they did. We've talked about this earlier, but they transitioned to obviously a bunch of established stars. Pacioretty, Pietrangelo, Mark Stone, made some big deals, but they're going to need a wave of guys coming up behind them, and Whitecloud's one of the younger guys in the organization. I think will be there for a while.
Now, I know this is a bit ironic to ask as a guy who does Steve's Dang It's, where I just every week highlight players screwing up. But do you think today players are a little bit more worried of those viral moments?
I could see it.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, right? And you highlighted earlier, I'm old compared to these players. There's only a few guys in the league that are occupying the same band of age as I am. But you know, so many of these guys are living on social media, right? Like I think in the playoffs, teams try to shut that down, and because you don't want stuff to get into your mind. But I mean, everyone sees it, right? Like I wasn't watching that Canada-Haiti game the other day, but I saw the goal that went in, the own goal, and I'm pretty sure, like a lot of people that didn't even know what that game was for. I know it's for World Cup qualifying now, but like they weren't even aware that game was happening, but everyone was aware about the mistake that was made there. And I think the same thing applies in a lot of these games when it comes to these highlights. So I think there would be guys that are nervous about it. It's probably what separates, in some ways, the very, very top skilled players in the league is just not being afraid to try things, not being afraid, of course, because sometimes when you try things, it doesn't work out well. I think a lot of players in this league, look, this is a good job to have, and it's a narrow margin. I think if you're, say, a third to fourth line player in the league, you're just trying not to screw up a lot of times. I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, but you don't want to end up in one of those clips. You don't want to be on the clips the coach shows in the dressing room. And so, I think that there is a fear. Hey, LeBoo!
What a goal from Paul Byron. Yo, look at that. God, that's got to be a great feeling. You're in a building full of people, probably fully vaccinated, watching your team kill it in the third round. Getting ahead of myself. What happened here? What led to this? There's White Cloud. Whoa. White Cloud with the pinch, but it looked like he had support. It's just Montreal got by him. That's a great backhand, man. That's just
Paul Star.
That's a what?
David Amber calls him the Paul Star.
Oh God, that is a Amber joke. Oh,
he loves Paul Byron.
Yeah, he loves dad jokes more though.
Yes. He's a great guy to watch hockey with, though. You should have him on one of these someday. He's working every night now, but.
He filled in a few episodes of ice surfing.
Yeah, he gets fired up.
He is like a kindred spirit. I was like, okay, I've met my match. I've found someone who's as intense as I am watching hockey games.
I guarantee you, he was in the green room that we use at the studio, fist pumping and screaming when that goal went in for Paul Byron.
He loves the Paul Star. Whoa! Like Vegas has gotten chances, but like they're whiffing them.
Yeah, but Carey Price, my man.
I know he's made Fleury look rather ordinary in this game. Who has made a couple pretty big saves.
I was gonna say let's not get too hot takey here. Marc-Andre Fleury's had a great year too.
No, obviously. We're gonna let you go at intermission, but before you go, I want to know, did anyone... Oh, why are they showing this? I said none of this. Why did you show it on the broadcast? I said
just make a quick move. At that point, he's got so much speed.
Anyway.
How did Montreal get here again? I can't remember what teams they beat. Do you remember?
Jets. And, I don't know, some team that looked like the Lightning. I don't remember. Oh, there you go. Vegas is on the board. CJ, you got a minute left. Or you lose $4,000.
I know.
We got, who was that, Petro?
I think it might have been Stone, no?
Well, it was Pietrangelo with the shot, and it looked like it hit something, but I don't know what. Petro led the lineup. Oh, I think you might be right. I think Stone's knee?
Yeah.
I think you're right. Here we go.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hard to tell from that one.
Might have just gone through. It could have hit Sherratt. I mean, if you're Vegas, you don't care.
We're in for a dandy third period here, bud.
Oh, I know. This game's opened up a little bit, eh?
Ooh. Getting nasty, too.
Yeah. Have the Habs had a power play? I don't think they have. So that's one thing I would maybe look for, because I think it's 2-0 in that category. Did you, before you go, did you hear from anyone in the league about the Juggernaut tweet, particularly the Habs organization?
Yes.
Amazing.
In fact, someone that works for their team I'm trying to remember the exact circumstances, but it was recently. I think it might have been when they were eliminating Winnipeg. Basically warned me, don't break out that label again.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Oh, baby. And to be clear, it's not in my mind at all to break out that label. As much as I have fun with it on the T-shirt, some fans really believe it means something, and I don't want to mess with fans' minds on this stuff. So, I won't. Wow.
They're fired up. What's going on here? That's Stahl going at the ref. I thought he was going at one of the Golden Knights. So how does this all start? It's a hit from Reeves on Perry. I mean,
oh yeah. Well,
he's just getting shanked basically.
Well, then two guys on Stahl there.
Yeah, how'd that end up being Stahl getting pummeled?
Well, because they were basically spearing Perry here, and Stahl kind of came in, and then
yeah, and Perry gets up. Oh, and just mauled.
Another fake forward.
What are you trying that on Ryan Reeves? Are you sure?
Third period. Don't shut this stream down at the intermission, Steve.
Oh no, we will not. We will not. Oh my God, this is an excellent setup for the third. I don't know, 17 seconds. How you feeling?
I'm feeling okay about my theoretical bet.
We'll see. Well, there might be a power play coming here. I don't know. I can't hear the broadcot.
It's really easy to
no
make
penalties.
It's so much easier to make a phantom bet.
The playoffs.
No true stress here.
Right. Well, if you do,
see, I would be stressed.
DJ, you escaped.
Yes. I hope you all hammered the under, as I told you to.
You don't have to make a bet, but if you do, make sure it's sports interaction. Listen to me. You'll be right. Listen to CJ. You'll be right. We're 2 for 2 as a program so far.
Next time I come back, we're setting up an account and we're putting some money in, Steve, and we're making bets together. Just a little juice. All the money can go to charity. Let's make some money, donate to charity. But I want to have a little bit of skin in the game, you know?
I get it, man. I'm totally down for that, and I would love to have you back. Chris Johnston, CJ, the Juggernaut. Chris, where can we find you?
On Twitter at Reporter Chris, on Instagram at Reporter Chris, maybe on TikTok one day at Reporter Chris.
Ooh, there we go. Well, then I'm glad I asked. I asked for the cheek. Everyone knows you.
Are you active there on the TikTok?
I've made some videos, but I'm mostly just I watch people cook things.
Right. Put the milk in before the cereal.
No. Well,
these savages.
Sometimes. All right. Chris Johnston, thank you very much for joining us. Everybody, this is Watch a Habs Game. I almost said Leafs again with Steve Dangle. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get ready for third period action.
Thanks for
Folks, sorry, you saw my little drum solo there. Hi, Steve Dangle here. Welcome back to Watch a Habs Game with Steve Dangle. I have gotten a few questions. Where is it? There. This is an article. It was in page 2 of the newspaper during the Vancouver Olympics because a certain clothing brand sent me to the Olympics in 2010 to interview their athletes. Forget the article, though. That is my ticket to the gold medal game. I was there. I saw the golden goal, Iggy, and all that. And that's why my dog, who is still sleeping right there, wondering why I'm interrupting his sleep. That's why he's named Iggy, because he's a golden doodle. Get it? Golden goal. Jerome McGinley, right there. One of my favorite players growing up, who never ended up playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs. We got some more sports interaction action. Sports Interaction, by the way, providing competitive odds on all sports. Sports Interaction is Canada's odds maker. Remember, you got to be 19 plus, got to play responsibly, but we got a really interesting one here. Full game goal total. Will it be odd or even? Obviously, the goal total is even right now, 3-1, so it's 4. Will it be odd or even? I don't even. Odd. You know why I'm going to go with odd? Because I'm odd. So, hey, we're 2 for 2 so far. We're 2 for 2. I called the first goal on Sports Interaction. CJ had the over-under Vegas second period goals. Should we go 3 for 3? Leave a comment in the chat if you actually did it. If you went to Sports Interaction, you did our bets. And let us know if you're rich. Did you get rich because of us? Can I have some? No? Okay, fine. Well, I'm at least very happy for you. So there we go for Sports Interaction. That's an interesting one. I don't know if I've seen that one before. So we head into the third period. Obviously, the pace picking up there at the end. We have no more guests. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me for the third period and potentially overtime. What? None of you guys saw Watchmen? No? We had a late goal from Paul Byron. Roofs it. We had an even later goal from Alex Pietrangelo, possibly Mark Stone. Doesn't matter. It belongs to Vegas. It's 3-1. Vegas was getting their chances in the second period there. So here's how the first game broke down. Montreal controlled the first in terms of shots. Vegas controlled the second. Does this sound familiar so far? Montreal outshot Vegas in the third period of game 1. Vegas is going to have to change that for game 2. Now, we do have an answer, and maybe you heard it on the broadcast, but I didn't on account of I can't hear anything. From Eric Engels, as Kyle Bukauskas reported, Petrie has bilateral subconjunctival hemorrhage. That's what's going on with the eyes there. Speaking with doctors over the last few minutes, no pain or vision issues associated. Just some burst blood vessels and pooling. What a word. Pooling is, you could have just stopped burst blood vessels, but oh boy. Oh, that's going to bug me the rest of the night. I wish I didn't finish that tweet. Good Lord, Eric Engels. I mean, good reporting, but good Lord. I did not need that. We do have questions. Let's go with Jorge or George. As a lifelong Vegas fan, George, I like you. I'm already laughing. As a lifelong Vegas fan, how do I deal with the constant playoff disappointment? I need tips from a pro. Okay, listen. It's a good joke. A great one, even. But I need you to stop. How do you deal with it? How do you deal with it? Here's how you deal with it. You make peace with the fact that hockey makes no sense. None. We spend so much time trying to understand it. But there is a ridiculous amount that happens that does not make sense. You're drawing on my Leafs experience. Obviously, that's what you're alluding to, so I will use it. The New York Islanders. They lose John Tavares for nothing. They don't trade him. He goes to free agency, and he leaves. He walks. He's their best player. And then guess what? The team he signs with, forget that it's the Leafs. Whoever the team is, he has a career year. Scores 47 goals. They lost their captain and a 47-goal scorer for nothing. Islanders got better. How about this? I like saying this. The 2018 Washington Capitals only won because they did not blow up the 2017 Washington Capitals. That was supposed to be their go-for-it team. 2018 Caps were not supposed to win. That was supposed to be 2017, and they were out in the second round again. They get their full Dragon Slayer and everything, beating Pittsburgh in the second round. The 2019 Blues only win because they didn't blow up the 2018 Blues. Heck, they didn't blow up the 2019 Blues. They were last place when 2019 began. 6 months later, they win the Stanley Cup. 2020 Tampa Bay Lightning only win, without their captain, by the way, only win because they did not blow up the 2019 Tampa Bay Lightning after they choked in the first round against Columbus. They doubled down. They paid a first-round pick for Blake Coleman and then another one for Barclay Goodrow. Now, you might be saying, Steve, you're talking about teams that won the Stanley Cup. I asked you about the Leafs, and I'd say, shut up. I'm trying to be inspirational. The Leafs don't count. They don't, like, nothing applies to them. There's no comparable in any sport. So you cheering for a normal team, that's what I would say. For the Leafs, I would say, I don't know, despair is constant and inevitable. There, is that good? You like that? Is that a good answer? Victor, is this the best goalie battle we've seen in years? No, it's a bit early for that. You're getting caught up in the paper. You got to remember the first game had 5 goals, right? Or was it 4-2? Doesn't matter. Man, you got to remember, I grew up watching hockey in the 90s where you had to beg for a goal. You had to beg and plead. 3-2 was a barn burner, right? And we're already at 3-1 in this game. I'm definitely not going to crown this as an amazing goalie battle. It's a battle between 2 amazing goalies, but it has not been an amazing goalie battle. Does that make sense? What I just said? It does. IMHO. Looking for more questions. Arthur. You'll be all right, boy. Any Red Dead fans? Arthur says, you saw the Leafs come back versus the Habs. Stop making everything about the Leafs. Gosh, Toronto media. You saw the Leafs come back versus the Habs. Did you watch the series? Oh, you mean like in Game 5 when they came back and choked? And in Game 6 when they also did that? How can Vegas get back in this one? Well, one thing I can definitely say about the Habs with the lead that I saw in the first round anyway is they definitely take their foot off the gas. You might see them press for first 5 minutes, but they really just try to form a barrier around Carey Price. And I just don't know if it's the best way to do things. Because if you watch Montreal in the first period, and actually they did this very effectively in the first round as well, and obviously effectively in the second round, they swept the Jets. They're great agents of chaos. They have speed. They're unafraid to go into the corner, lines 1 through 4. So Vegas gets back into this game if Montreal does what they've done in the past, which is allow their opponent to get back into the game. If Montreal has the juice to play the way they did in the first, or even the first 10 minutes, 7, 8, 9 minutes, if Montreal does that, Vegas is going to have problems. And Montreal's got the opportunistic skill to make them pay. as well. You know, you're going to start pinching like White Cloud. You're gonna start cheating a little bit. And a guy like Paul Byron or Tyler Toffoli, they're gonna make you pay. Oh, secret channel. Waugh, Hasek, or Brodeur. Okay. Hot take that is really not that hot. Old heads are about to get mad. But I think people around my age are going to understand. Brodeur is out of the conversation. I know it's a conversation about three guys. He's not them. He's just not them. If we're looking at hardware alone and championships alone, and here we go for the beginning of the third period. By the way, click like and subscribe. If we're looking at hardware alone, obviously Brodeur is in there. It's a different conversation. It's him and Waugh, and you got to take Hasek out, I think. But his individual hardware. There was a period where Hasek won, I want to say it was 8 out of 9 Vezinas or something stupid like that. He basically should have won, I think it was 6 straight Vezinas. But it was interrupted by a guy named Jim the Net Detective Carey. It was this rookie in the NHL, and he had a good year, but if you look at his numbers, like, he won a ton of games, but he was not the best puck stopper in the NHL by any metric whatsoever. You could have easily given it to Hasek again, but he got it. It interrupted Hasek's little streak, and if I'm not mistaken, Hasek went right back to it. If you look at guys who are just unbeatable, I mean, I'm trying to imagine Dominic Hasek behind Scott Stevens, Scott Niedermayer, and Ken Danico for his whole career. Oh. Patrick Waugh, he's so clutch. He's got the championships. He's got the individual hardware, although I think Hasek still hasn't beaten that case. To me, it's either Hasek or Waugh. I used to say Hasek unconditional. And just kind of... Actually, it was this past offseason when I was doing trade trees with producer Drew and producer Stu. And that Dang It's video about how Waugh ended up leaving Montreal. I don't know. I was converted to the Waugh side of things. Here's Toffoli. See how they're attacking? I cannot believe the shots are 16-14. It doesn't feel like it, does it? Like, I feel like anyone who hasn't actually watched this game, yeah, Habs defense has been good. I feel like anyone who hasn't actually watched this game would look at those numbers and go, oh, you call the Islanders boring. What about this? This game hasn't felt boring at all. At all.
With 5 hits and 3 block
shots.
Oh my
god, that was so gruesome, dude. Ducey, or Dosey, says no Felix Potvin in the conversation? Unfortunately not. If it was just Toronto goalies, then maybe. One of the worst card trades I ever made. There was a card that I saw. It was a Felix Potvin Vancouver Canucks card, which, God, I forgot that ever happened. But it had a piece of game use stick in it from when he was with the Canucks. So I wanted it, and I traded a rookie card for it. And that rookie got traded to the Leafs like a month later. It was Phil Kessel. Oh, not one of my better moves. This could be something for Montreal here. They got a trailer. Yep. Oh! See? See how they're still attacking and they're catching Vegas cheating, and oh! Never mind! That's a good shot from Tuck there. Try to see if they do it though.
Gustafson fell awkwardly in the corner and couldn't get back. He's limping on a knee, and that's why he got in there all by himself. And he's now going to the dressing room.
There's Nick Waugh behind the net. Tied up, and high stick will stop play.
Oh, we got Gustafson on the bench. Man, another one for the Habs. Oh, there he is. There he is. I was following the puck. Oh, he does not look good. Oh, boy. Oh, I don't know what you do there. Boy, that's a tough one. Vegas with a decent little opportunity here, but Montreal with the face-off win. Oh, and they clear. Leave a comment in the chat for Sports Interaction. Did you pick odd or even? I need to know. Oh! The net's clear, and it's always going to screw me up. The camera angle screws me up when the puck is in the air, and oh, that was very close to something for Eric Stahl. In the clear net. I would love to see if some, like, hot shot hockey league. Oh, I don't know why Stone passed that. It looked like he split. Anyway, I wonder if some hot shot hockey league, like this is something like the ECHL would do or the SPHL, would they do solid nets? So it's black or blue or whatever, and you can't see through the net. This could be something for Vegas. Locked again. Oh! So I've seen the question a few times. Who do you want to win this series? I don't care. I genuinely don't care. But if I do sound like I'm cheering for Vegas right now, the only reason for that, all I want is every game be decided by one goal. I want the most exciting outcome possible. Notice I didn't say overtime. All overtime games are one-goal games, but it's the playoffs and it's continuous, and it's 10 after 11 on the East Coast. And by East Coast, I mean Ontario, which is nowhere near the East Coast. 10 after 11 where I am. So if the Habs are up 3-1, I want Vegas to score to make it 3-2. If Vegas is up 3-1, I want the Habs to score to make it 3-2. Do you see what I'm saying? I just want the most chaotic finish possible. Live, laugh, and laugh more. What do you think of Reeves? Not as effective as he has been in years past. Like, that was a weird move. Remember, he was in Pittsburgh and they kind of paid a lot to get him, and he goes to Vegas. He was really effective in that Stanley Cup final for Vegas in 2018. In that whole run, basically. But tonight I've found myself going, oh, there's Ryan Reeves. Just not as effective. He's not a guy you ever really think of as getting hurt or getting bested physically. But I wonder about that. Like, one thing from the first round, and you got to give Montreal credit for this, you know, the Leafs kept putting Wayne Simmons out to start faceoffs and everything, and intimidation, and he was a factor, and he was a physical factor, and he did dole out punishment, but the Habs punished him. And by the end of the series, you could tell he just wasn't as effective. Oh! Tricky little stop for Fleury. It doesn't look too dangerous. Something about those side of the net little shots. Unless you collect it, you don't really know where it's going to go. This is an interesting opportunity. God, the Habs defense is doing such a good job for Price. Like, he knows where that shot's going. That's a confident play right there. Now, remember at the beginning of the game, first 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes, I was saying Price looked uncomfortable. He settled in. That's a comfortable Price save. Good keep. Nope, not so good. If you're just tuning in for the what is maybe going to be the end of the game. Hi, Steve Dangle here on the Sportsnet YouTube channel. Click like, click subscribe. Tell all your friends. The whole crew is back. Me, producer Drew, producer Stu, producer Soup, producer Steph is not here. Hopefully he'll be back for game 3. Vegas taking the lead in the shot counter for maybe the first time in this game. We got a whistle here? Yeah, we do. Okay. Malcolm, thoughts on Josh Anderson signing now? So there's two minds here. He was so good at the beginning of the season, right? And then he sort of tapered off. He was the Habs' best player in their first playoff game this year, which they won. And then he sort of tapered off. So what I've seen people say is, well, they're in the Final Four. Your team's success is paramount. It's the most important thing. But the team that wins the Stanley Cup, let's say, just because you won the Stanley Cup doesn't mean that every move you made was the right one or the smart one or the reason you won the Stanley Cup. Josh Anderson, to me, has looked pretty ordinary. I think part of the reason he gets criticized so much, I think I just had a eureka moment. Part of the reason Josh Anderson gets so much criticism is not just the contract. It's when you watch him have a good Josh Anderson game, oh my God, he looks like a monster. He looks like an unstoppable force of nature. And then on other nights, he just kind of looks like a guy on your third line. It's not bad. Just kind of there. Like, you would never think he makes over $5 million, but man, those nights where he's engaged, he's such an X factor. He'll run you over with the puck, score, snipe. He's got such a good shot. Oh, Drew just reminded me of a game, but we will play it next commercial break. Is Steve wearing pants? We're not going to do it now. We'll do a next commercial break. Devin, what are your thoughts on the whole Canada's team thing? I don't. Because what percentage of people are saying this is Canada's team? It's very few. It's not a thing. Whoa! Good stop by Carey Price on Riley Smith. No one really believes it. Like, was everyone getting behind the Flames when they got to the final? No. Was everyone behind the Oilers when they got to the final? No. Was everyone behind the Sens when they got to the final? No. You'll notice there's a team that I haven't mentioned. The Canucks? No. Underrated amount of Bruins fans in Canada as well. That was another big factor there with 2011. I think the Jets have been the last team standing. I think since 2003 or 4, every Canadian team has taken a turn being the last Canadian team standing, except for Toronto. Isn't that amazing? Like, look at Anderson there. You know what I mean? I'm not even saying he's bad. He's just, there's so many games or shifts or periods where he just looks ordinary. And he's not the force that the Habs need. Holy smokes, Marchessault's dancing. I think Tuck's had a good game too. Oh, maybe not there. They're going to need one from him if they're going to get back in this game. This third period is flying by, though. We're already at 11:24.
This is a set play for the Montreal Canadiens, but Pietrangelo reads it well, steps right in front of Gallagher, and gets a really good scoring chance. And And then we talked about
Sogand, do you have a favorite team remaining?
With a good defensive effort down deep in his zone, making a good play and getting the puck out.
They all bring something fun.
There's a face-off win for the Golden Knights.
They all have very unique fan bases. I'm not going to lie, I don't know much about Tampa's. Montreal's, you know, there's such a almost like religious reverence for the team. There was, I want to say it's McGill University actually offers a course that's called the Religion of the Montreal Canadiens. I know there used to be one. I don't know if there still is. Vegas is obviously this new sparkly. I mean, there's someone with sparkles right behind the net there. They're this new. Their fans bring something so new to the sport. You know what I mean? And the Islanders, man, if you're not paying attention, boring style, whatever the heck you call it, it's a Metallica concert every time. And then obviously with Tampa taking the fans out of it, there's an opportunity to repeat, which is a really difficult thing to do in this league. So do I have a favorite team left? No. But every year, I mean, this is a total cop-out answer. Every year someone wins the Stanley Cup. It's a great story. That was almost extremely dangerous. Oh! Oh! Oh, that's loose. That is loose. Oh, my goodness. That is loose. I also couldn't hear when the whistle blew because, again, I can't hear the broadcast. So that might have been well past the whistle. And I'm like, oh! Oh, boy. He's not as fleet of foot as he used to be, but that is not a guy you want in front of your net digging for a puck. That's a good stop. Should this have been blown dead? Nope. When does he ever have it? He never has that. Stahl 3 for 3 on faceoffs. Now, was that kept? It looks like it. I need Stone to be a bigger factor. Pacioretty had that one post chance, and I have not really seen him since. This line is obviously sorely missing Chandler Stevenson. Oh! There's a lot of traffic in front. Oh! You got a point shot there. There were 3 guys in front.
Shots are 21-18 Golden Knights, but the Canadiens with a 2-goal lead. Back in comes William Carrier. Carrier, the native of LaSalle, Quebec. One of 4 Quebec-born players in this Golden Knight lineup.
Kirby asks actually an extremely good question, and you're asking the right guy. Oh, as we head to break. So this is going to include video games, as the Habs look to close out Game 2 of this series and tie it up. Welcome to Watch a Habs Game with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle doing this very silly thing. Kirby asks this: hey, if you have not played Red Dead Redemption 2 and you don't know anything about Red Dead Redemption 2, this question is going to be tough for you. But you know what? We'll get to the question after we play our game that I forgot we were supposed to play. Is Steve wearing pants? There's the graphic, wasting no time whatsoever. I'm just going to stand up. I think I'm going to stand on my chair. Let me just make sure. I don't want to traumatize anybody, okay? Is Steve wearing pants? 10, you have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. I can hear so much better. 3, 2, 1. No, he is wearing shorts. Oh, I don't want to fall down. I'm standing up on my chair right now. Da, 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 da. Shorts with a belt, though, because I'm business cash. I'm biz cash. 10 seam. 10-inch seam. That's the only way to go. A little bit stretchy. Found them on sale. No, I'm not wearing pants. That was one of the stipulations. I said, okay, if I'm going to do this, there's no friggin' way I wear pants. So anyway, Red Dead Redemption 2. Getting back to that. Kirby asked the question. It's about Red Dead Redemption 2. If you have not played it and you don't want it spoiled, then mute me for the next couple minutes. Kirby, Steve, what's more sad? Red Dead Redemption 2 Chapter 6 or the Leafs losing another Game 7? Kirby, it's such a good question because, God, do they feel the same. They really do feel the same. Because Chapter 6, you know it's going to end in a way that you're not going to like. And it's sad and it takes forever. Does that not sound like Game 5, 6, and 7 of this series if you were a Leaf fan? Here's what I would say. Even though Chapter 6 ends the way that it ends, without giving away too much, at least there is redemption. Hence the title of the game. What redemption did the Leafs have? None! Vegas calling for a penalty here. I don't think they're going to get it.
A lot of John back and forth as Gallagher and Pietrangelo. I mentioned the importance of Philip Deneau. The crowd's going crazy.
That's a very good question, Kirby.
They spent the whole commercial time getting the crowd.
I don't know if I should be worried about spoilers for a game that's been out that long. Ooh. How'd you even pull that off?
One to the head by Pietrangelo, another one back by Gallagher, and then he went for the hit in the corner and took the worst of that one.
Man, Gallagher, I don't know if Gallagher's played a healthy game these playoffs. What a warrior. Man. It's so interesting that we had that question about Whitecloud earlier. Because now the more I watch him, the more I'm like, I don't know if I trust this player. Vegas is very close to offside here, but they got the puck, and Price is coming up big. God, this kid line is just unbelievable for the Habs, aren't they?
Suzuki will wrap it around off the ledge to the far side. Caulfield to Foley. That weak shot turned away by Fleury. Caulfield battling along the boards. It comes loose for the Golden Knights. Riley Smith looking for Carlson. Edmondson there. Carlson nearly came up with it.
Producer Soup goes, too long and monotonous. Sorry, Red Dead Redemption 2, not you. Shut up! I love that game. Obviously, you have never gone to Amberino to get a 3-star Ram Pelt. Oh, does that sound boring to you? What about the Western Grizzlies to try to get a moose so that you can hang the antlers at your camp as a decoration? Because Pearson knows how to craft, because you purchased that ability in the Ledger. Oh, you didn't think about that, did you? Oh! Oh! Oh, you know what it was? You know what that was right there? I thought the puck was left alone in the slot because my mouse cursor was on the screen. I thought my cursor was the puck. I'm stupid. I'm going to stop talking about Red Dead Redemption.
Vegas blue line activating now, and Whitecloud was in deep. Back to get it, Patrick Brown, under 7 to
Now, Producer Soup and Producer Drew are just having a conversation about different Rockstar games. We have a game to produce, gentlemen! Less than 7 minutes to go. Montreal up 3-1 over Vegas. Going to be an interesting end to the game no matter what you bet. If you bet on Sports Interaction, it'll be an odd amount of goals or an even amount of goals. I said odd. Because the empty netter would make it odd. Vegas pulling to within 1 would make it odd. Score stays the same. It's even. 2 goals happen. It's even. Whoa! Oh, that would have been the goal of the playoffs. Holy smokes. Nick Suzuki. That would have been the goal of the playoffs. And now it comes the other way. Vegas, can they hold it? It looks like they're going to hold it for a bit, but now they're going to have to go fishing in the corner, and that's never fun against this big Montreal defense. Oh, what a keep, and Toffoli gets rid of it. You should have put that on. You need that sustained zone time against these guys. Ooh, what happened there? You good? Well, Suzuki doesn't look too comfortable after that. I gotta move this cursor. It just happened again. I guess Suzuki's okay. I think he was just dog tired. Watch this. Oh! Oh! If either of those go in, goal of the playoffs. What a single effort. Solo effort. Phew. Oh boy! Alex Pietrangelo. Gold redemption? Is that what we... No? We are now... Sports Interaction, we are now on... Odd. What did I tell you? Off of the icing. William Karlsson wins it. Petro just snipes glove side on Price. Oh, baby! Right through the 5-hole of Petrie. Not a bad little shot there. Nothing against Erik Karlsson. But remember, that was the move Vegas was supposed to make. Then they didn't make it. And that has allowed them to, or that allowed them basically this offseason to go out and get Alex Pietrangelo. I know who I'd rather have in the playoffs. Ooh! So now we got just under 5 minutes to go for Vegas to tie it, or for Montreal to tie the series. Does Vegas tie the game or Montreal tie the series? There can be only one. Here on Sportsnet's YouTube channel. Watch a Habs game with Steve Dangle. There's a stop from Price. There's still traffic, though. Pacioretty, if he just was able to hook it a little bit more, but he was off balance there. What percent of the game shots have been this period? It's been a wild one. Ooh, nasty from Stahl.
finally gets on the board in this game, the Karlsson line, after Karlsson won the draw to make that play possible.
4 minutes to go. Oh, what a stop! Oh, Marchie. What a keep from Jonathan Marchessault. If I'm not mistaken, so that controversial Game 7 against the Sharks, wasn't it Vegas was up big, they blow it, San Jose takes the lead, Marchessault ties it, though, to force overtime, and then San Jose wins it in overtime? Do I have that correct? It's hard to remember absolutely everything ever. 15K watching this. Whoo, baby. I love it. Hey, we got a commercial break in progress. Could be the last one. I don't know. We'll see. Vegas just got their second goal. They were down 3-0 in the second period. Paul Byron with a beautiful backhander. Roofs it. Makes it 3-0. Pietrangelo, I think he definitely took the shot to get Vegas on the board. I don't know if he was still awarded the goal. I haven't checked. It doesn't matter. If you're Vegas, it doesn't matter. Then he scores again. Or for the first time. Depending on how the first goal was awarded. Just a few moments ago. Vegas. Can they tie it and potentially force overtime? Or will Montreal even the series at 1 game apiece? Matching the other Final Four series, Tampa and the Islanders tied at 1 game apiece. Producer Drew says it was in regulation, but I was right about the scores. So, yeah, I was about to say, Thought I would remember if it was Game 7 overtime. Randy, you should call Adam right now and ask how he likes these Habs apples. I was about to say, no, Adam said the Habs would win. No, that's the Islanders. For some reason, my podcast co-host, Adam Wilde, has decided he's dying on the hill. That, oh, you're right. He says that the Habs won't win a game this series. He's 3 minutes, 57 seconds away from being wrong. Actually, it's going to cost him a couple $100 too, because there was a charitable bet placed on it. I forgot about that. Thank you. I'll be sure to bug Adam, who is definitely fast asleep. He hosts a morning show. But screw that morning show. You don't need it. What you need is the Sportsnet YouTube channel. Click like and subscribe. Woo! Oh, baby. Two-goal playoff game in the career of Alex Pietrangelo. Simon says, who's your favorite player on each of these teams? Ooh. Oh. That was a very, very good question. I really like Pietrangelo, but I think I'm going to say Mark Stone. He's just so unreal for Vegas. He hasn't been nearly as much of a factor in this game as he maybe needs to be. But yeah, probably him. And for the Habs, that one's tough too. I'm going to say Brendan Gallagher. I think he's the only member of this team. Oh! Oh, Kolasar with a chance there. Oh! Oh! So close there for Stone. Vegas buzzing. 3 minutes to go. Oh, baby. I was going to say Gallagher's the only member of this team, of this Habs team that I've met. That's not true. I met Gallagher at a World Junior Camp. Actually, I interviewed him and Mark Scheifele at the same time, which was very awkward a couple weeks ago. Because they were both on that team, and they're still good friends to this day. But I also spoke to Shea Weber twice in St. Louis at the All-Star game. I've spoken to a lot of Habs. PK Subban when he was with the Habs, Serge Savard, Ivan Cornway, Pacioretty when he was still with the Habs. He was the captain of the Habs. I have pictures with all these guys. 3 minutes to go. Tuck with the puck. Martinez. Good 5-hole attempt. Oh! Oh! Oh, baby. Vegas is sniffing. I would love to see their period-by-period shot attempts break down. Where was this hiding? All of this for Vegas. And do you see what I mean from the beginning of the period? Where'd Montreal's offense go? I know this is lock it down time, but like, how many shots do they have? 6? How many since the 10-minute mark? 2? They take their foot off the gas. They stop doing what makes them good, in my opinion. These guys can hang. They can skate and forecheck with Vegas. Do they get to keep? I think Montreal's going to clear this. They do. 2 minutes, 35 seconds left in the third period. Montreal 3, Vegas 2. Vegas has been getting those stretch passes through. Carlson, not a good enough backhand. I don't even know if he got it all. Habs clear it. Fleury still in the Montreal Canadiens net, and they're going to need him. Okay, stop. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left. You got to think he's about to dart. Ideally, you'd gain the zone. They're going for a line change right now. 2 minutes to go. Shots since first period, 27-11 for Vegas. Which is understandable. Montreal's been winning the whole time, but really taking the foot off the gas. I mean, it's worked so far. You got to think they're pulling Fleury here no matter what. Riley Smith in the corner. Chaos. Marchessault coming out with it, gets it to the point. Minute 23. Oh, they can't keep it. Petro hat trick would just blow the roof off of that building. Oh, stopped. Well, they love that stretch pass, and why not? They've had some luck with it. Why not? Oh, someone's down. Edmondson. I'm not going to lie, I was puck watching. What happened there? If this is a Vegas penalty, that's enormous. Again, I can't hear the broadcast.
To get a whistle, you don't always get the whistle in a case like that. Here's the chance coming in that
Carlson, yeah, he just whiffs on that. Oh, and it still sort of almost fools him.
Went with the quick shot, unable to get it.
George McPhee just losing his mind. That's hilarious. And then what happened here? Carlson. Oof.
And a whistle for the official that helps the Canadians in there. Is it a timeout or is it just a
cross checks?
Pete DeBoer, I believe, has called a timeout.
I think he was arguing too.
Did he just say 7 guys on the ice? Sorry, that's not the first time we've seen a coach mouth that. Cross checks are so. I don't even know what they do and don't call. Because on one hand, you might look at that and go, Edmondson was checked from behind. And the outcome's terrible. Oh, we got a timeout here.
Now they get the extended timeout.
Dude, you got a timeout. Stop yelling at the ref. Talk to your boys. Put your mask on. Anyway, horrible result there for Edmondson. But I'm looking at Carlson and going, he's not doing anything that every other player does. Because it's not a cross check. It's one of those sort of rides him into the boards. At a very high speed, though. What is and isn't a check, which leads to what is and isn't charging. Maybe a regular season penalty. Cat says, does Vegas tie it? Johnny says, how is that not a penalty? It sort of answered that. Because there's less than a minute to go in a third round playoff game. Regular season, I think it might be a call. What would you call it? Would you call it checking from behind? Is it a check? I don't know. Okay, is it a call versus should it be one? You know what I mean? It's not exactly the sort of thing you want in the NHL. No ice. So Vegas stymied. Is Toffoli going to be able to get to it? Vegas, 30 seconds to work. They're going to get the entry here, and they get it deep. Pacioretty stops. No, you're not going to get a call there. That's not a call. No, not a chance. That's a deflection. 20.2 seconds to go. I'm about to go 3 for 3 here, potentially. I said odd. I said Habs score first. CJ said 1 goal or less in the second, and I said odd amount of goals. Sports Interaction. If you just listen to us, you'd make a bunch of money. He goes deep. I don't know if that's what Vegas wanted. Habs don't get the clear. Everyone's standing, can't see a thing. Oh, they missed wide. 10 seconds. Petro bombs it. They're going to get the clear here. They do. And there's no way that's going to be ice. Montreal. Adam Wild owes some money. Montreal ties the series at 1. They were up 3-0. What's going on here with Patches? What's going on there, Patches? What happened here? I'm sure we'll see.
The game ended, but there was a little bit of...
I don't like this. I don't like this after the game stuff. I didn't like it with Tampa Islanders, and I don't like it with Vegas and Montreal right now.
He's already out of of the pile and congratulating Carey Price.
Yeah, you get to the semifinal. You get to game
My buddy
two,
just
you
texted me.
even the
Habs
series
love
up,
when
it's
you
game
stream.
on now.
Yes,
And
they do. They're
that's what it
5-3.
usually does. These two teams haven't
Winning
played
record, I
for
know that
so
much.
long, and
5-3 when I
now
stream.
you got yourself a
Habs are up
series.
3-0 in this game.
Chris, again, it's the key
Surrender
for
a late goal in the
Montreal
second
Canadiens
period.
get that first goal of the game.
Surrender a goal
9 wins have all come scoring
in the
first.
third,
Carey Price
but not 3.
holding the door closed there at the end.
Oh, that girl is extremely happy because she got someone's goalie stick. I imagine Flowers. Here's another. Oh, Weber, what a warrior. Yeah, that hurt him. Oh. Oh, I spent $2,000 on these tickets and they lost.
In front of him.
I love the crowd shot. Oh, that's a nice hallway. Nice renovation. I like that. Hey, folks, you might notice that we have a little graphic done up. It says watch a Habs game with Steve Dangle. We didn't do that for just one game. We wouldn't do that for just one game. We're going to do this for the entire rest of the series, and then we'll see beyond that. I'm not going to promise anything on account of, well, the last time I teased, hey, you never know, the streams ended abruptly. So now we're back. Let's watch a Habs game with Steve Dangle. We will be back here on Sportsnet's YouTube channel. 2 questions, and then we'll go. Gordy, Montreal has to feel confident now, right? Heading home? Of course you do. You just took home ice advantage away from the Vegas Golden Knights. You've been proving people wrong all series. You were 18th in the regular season. You're going on and taking the number 2 seed who just beat the number 1 seed, and you beat them at home. Yeah, I'm thinking they're confident. Stevie, good name. The Bell Center for Game 3 is going to be lit. I am very interested to see how they try to match Vegas's volume and intensity with far fewer fans. But they aren't regular fans. They are Montreal Canadiens fans, the oldest fan base in the league, and one of the most interesting for sure. And at the moment, one of the most happy because they are one of 4 teams that are 7 wins away from the Stanley Cup. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Did I forget my own outro? I did. So, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. You see? Okay, practice makes perfect. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell your friends. We'll be back in a couple days for Game 3.